Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to episode 91 of the Next Block. See, Will, we got Crypto for Change over there. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. The market is giving us a little bit of a pullback today. Obviously the altcoins were starting to run. I was seeing some memes run, and doggone Bitcoin still gotta, ruin the parade for right now. But the good news is I feel like Bitcoin dominance is still falling. So we're still, I think, still got to hope for some altcoins to run over the next couple months. But we need Bitcoin to find some support. And I think the support it has right now, I think it's right around 41. You want to pull up coin market cap, we can take a look real quick. But I think we're sitting around, it's got some support around 41.5, something like that, 41.7. And we'll see if it holds. I am still thinking that Bitcoin is going to trend all the way down to the 35,000 range before it truly finds maybe a bottom for this uptrend. And then I think by then we will swing back up. But who knows, really? I mean, anything could happen. I know that there's a lot of, uncertainty, right? Because you got so many big players. What's going on 409 and Taco? You got so many big players saying a lot of stuff in the main news. I mean, you got Jamie Dimon hating on Bitcoin and everything about it, even though he has his fair share of fraud
Yes.
and crazy things. You have Vanguard saying they're not going to do the Bitcoin ETFs. Then you have the largest asset managers, Larry Fink and those guys, Coinbase going to court against the SEC, being pro crypto. So it's really just like a tug of war right now. And I think that's why you're seeing some of the uncertainty in the market on Bitcoin's price and why it's kind of stalled out. It definitely was a sell the news type event for the ETFs dropping. Grayscale has been moving. I've been seeing large amounts of Grayscale Bitcoin moving over to Coinbase, probably them taking advantage and selling. So kind of expected. But, for those who are in alts, like I said, this is where in my mind, what I'm doing is I see these pullbacks as opportunities, right, to layer in to some of the projects that I think are still going to have a move upward in 2024 and have been kind of suppressed while Bitcoin's been running. What's going on, Trooper and Jamie Johnson? Thanks for tuning in, guys. And I want to bring up real quick, just for those, because I know obviously we have a ton of people who love Algorand in the community watching. I want to bring up the Algorand chart real quick. I'm going to present that.
Go
Give me
ahead.
1 second.
Let me stop my screen share.
And what I want to point out is something that we've kind of been seeing, play out is almost like a head and shoulders right here. So if you're, you got this bound right here, you get the head, and then you have the other shoulder that's starting to form, and you almost have a bearish cross here, and already a bearish cross down here on the MACD or on the RSI. And so I definitely think right now the most likely spot to touch support could be right here between the 15.67 area and maybe 16 cents for algo. Obviously I would not want to lose that, because if we lose the 15 and a half cents, I mean, obviously the next level is down here on the daily, probably around 13 cents, and then you're just starting to wonder, is Algorand going to go back and do something crazy like touch, back in that 9-10 cents? So we don't want to see that. I think a touch of that 15 cents and then a reversal and movement upwards could be very bullish. I think it would make a pretty quick move from there back up to the 30 cents range, which is kind of that next level to hit for Algorand on the upside. But we do need some things to happen, for Algorand to do that. And I'm talking on the macro scale, right? Bitcoin has got to find a place to kind of sit and hold, even if dominance is falling and people are excited about Ethereum or Solana and alts. Like, that's bullish for algo at the end of the day. But we can't have Bitcoin just falling off a cliff. And over the past couple weeks, that's all Bitcoin has been doing, and that's why you're seeing Algorand as well, starting falling with it. Because Algorand has historically not traded well against Bitcoin. When Bitcoin runs, Algorand has stayed steady or gone down, and when Bitcoin falls, Algorand has fallen worse. So that's something we just got to, we got to keep in mind. But that area right there, around that 15 cents area, 15, 16 cents, that's where I'm looking to layer back in. And like I said, still going to be watching what Bitcoin does. But that's just one of the things I'm seeing out here with some of the cryptos I know a lot of our community is following. There's other ones that I'm obviously bullish on in the long term.
You got the gold chart as well?
I do not have the gold. Actually, let me see. Yeah, I do have the gold chart.
Bitcoin. I'm curious with Bitcoin and gold, because right now, the add on to what you're saying, the DYX, the dollar just shot up.
Yeah.
And every time the dollar goes up, it messes up a lot of the cryptocurrency assets and things of that nature.
Yeah, this is the gold chart. So obviously gold is still doing relatively well, but it also kind of had a similar,
Peaking.
right to win Bitcoin. And it's hit that top 4 times. So you're seeing right there in the daily chart. So you're seeing a lot of resistance there for gold. But I do think they're both going to break it. I do think we're going to see Bitcoin get back above 50K in 2024. I
For
definitely
sure.
this is the end of it. But talk to your point of the dollar as well. I'll bring that one up. And here's where we're at. We came off this really big high at the start of the year in 2023. It's when Bitcoin showed a lot of that strength. And we're kind of seeing a almost head and shoulders maybe play out here as well. And if that happens, which I will say we did see this candle right here that printed was I thought it was going to be a pretty bearish reversal, but obviously today's markets, the dollar has still looks like it still has some strength left. So we jump up to 104 before, eventually rolling over. But, obviously it still has some room to run on the RSI as well for the dollar. But ultimately, guys, if you zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out. The dollar, I think, is still on its path down. And I would, if it comes up and it touches, right here on this trend where it's hit a bunch of times, I would expect the movement down. And then, like I say, that's when we're hopefully going to see an alt season take off, and we're going to, have some bullish wins for things like algo, meme coins, whatever else you're in that's in the, crypto landscape. But let us know in the comments, which cryptos are you guys watching? Obviously, Algorand, but which ones outside of the Algorand ecosystem are you kind of paying attention to? I know I've definitely got my eyes on a few that are in Ethereum, Solana, just
let's go back to coin market cap.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, like I got my eyes on some things, but just like what you said, I'm a little nervous with Bitcoin. We need Bitcoin to be strong so that way that every other crypto looks more enticing, look more like a better purchase here. I'm gonna go to the last 7 days. Flare, who's in Flare? Anyone remember Flare? They're supposed to do airdrops with the XRP, but Flare up 25% for the week. Blur up 20%. Chili's. What do you know about Chili's?
That was wasn't that the NFT one that was like meant to be partnered with like teams and stuff, like sports teams in some way? I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what it is. Yeah, most of the ones that are right now pumping are new or ones that have kind of been,
DYDX merged over.
Celestia. I mean, that's one that's been red hot all
that
year.
one been running. Yeah, crazy. That's one of my favorites right now. It has no ceiling, and it looks like it's going to keep going up.
Yeah, Monero. I love Monero, trading like a stable coin for the past 2 years. Literally, it's like, talk about a store of value. I don't think it's been in that 140 to 160 range for a while. So ready for that one to move
Beam.
out. That's a new one.
Beam is a big, gaming, I believe, that, I keep hearing about it. So it's something I've been trying to slowly keep my eyes on. Let's look at the last 24. Conflux. Yeah, a whole bunch, a lot of new names, basically. New names.
And I think the reason why you're seeing a lot of these pump right now is because you're going to see a lot of these lower market cap ones kind of maybe take some running when Bitcoin and the majority of popular coins are falling. Because when Bitcoin falls, most of the ones that are in the top 100 are going to fall, or if not fall, worse. So if it falls 2%, most of the other ones are going to fall 5 to 8%. So that's kind of to be expected. But yeah, let us know in the comments.
Is headed on the down.
It should be. Who even uses Shiba anymore? We got to get some new memes. Like, there's got to be some new memes for the new run. I've obviously got my
here's the ones you like.
I've
seen it. Where was it? I thought I saw that. What's the cat? Popcat. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Popcat was one that was on Solana. I definitely had that one. And I'm not in it anymore. I've actually ran over to Base, and I'm riding the Toshi and the Mochi or Mochi.
Yeah, Mochi was on here this morning when I looked.
Yeah, it was up big the last day and a half. I mean, I think it was up like over 100%, and it's just a lot of the excitement and stuff is just getting started when in pertaining to what it's doing. It's gonna have an NFT drop, I think, on the 22nd. I'm gonna play a part in that and hope that maybe, hope that maybe I can scoop a win there too. But Definitely a lot going on. Let's talk about Algorand. I know a lot of the people in the ecosystem, are probably, if you've not paid attention, we had a pretty big drop earlier this week, just a couple of days ago, with the Algorand roadmap for 2024. So let's go ahead and pull that up and let's kind of run through it and break down, what your thoughts are, what my thoughts are on, Algorand's outlook for 2024. And I'm not a big
one. I want to say that, remember when John was on our show with Gary, he was talking about branding, right? And better names. So it looked like that's what he did. And I already see the Algorand Gambit, the Queen's Gambit. They're doing the chess and whatnot. So that's some good branding right there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I definitely think it's a step in the right direction, especially knowing that, a lot of times the upgrades for Algorand just come out and then they just get kind of forgotten, at least in the larger landscape. So hopefully this will be something that, kind of catches the eye of people. I know I'm not a huge chess player, but I know Algorand did partner with the World. I don't know if they're still a partner. I think they might be, but the World of Chess or whatever. Foundation and whatnot. So maybe that's also why they're kind of making this play. But no, let's get into it. So the first thing is the Sicilian defense, which is dynamic round times. And that's what a lot of people were showing on the Twitter feed just over the past couple of days, showing that the round times for blocks on Algorand have decreased from right above 3 seconds to just a little bit under 3 seconds, like 2.9, 2.8. And so this is huge. It says dynamic round times, aka dynamic lambda, will increase network performance, meaning higher throughput and lower block times. And I'm just going to skip down because I feel like they do a good job of explaining what it would be like. With this upgrade, block times will average less than 3 seconds. Builders will benefit from the flexibility of dynamic round times as it enhances the efficiency and scalability of the Algorand network. And where did it show? I want to say it referenced it to being like at a bus stop, like if you're just like sitting and having to wait at a bus stop for the bus to come to you. The way this would work is like it's going to go to the bus stop that has the most people that have been that are waiting. So it's going to pretty much enhance the efficiency of these transactions going through. And so we're already starting to see that. Like I said, you've probably seen the tweets showing the graphs of those round times coming down.
I'll show it real quick. Block times right here. The averages is way up here. Well, not even way up. That was still impressive anyway. Under 3.4. You know what I mean? I done waited an hour for my ETH. So 2.9 and under, very impressive. Again, just a side note, like when we look at the Travel X's, the Lofties, all the businesses, even NF domains, the ones that need fast transactions, the Euro D, Euros S, this is why they're using Algorand right here. Finality is on point. Let me go back to the breakdown. Then let me scroll. But yeah. So that one, dynamic lambdas, or as you said, dynamic lambos, it has speed up the block time.
For sure,
What's next? Then we got the Algo Kit 2.0, the Ry Lopez. I wonder who made that name.
Yeah, I'm not sure. My son is also waking up in the middle of his nap. He's going to go back down, but I might let you grab this one while he gets himself back down.
For sure. Okay, so we got Algo Kit 2.0. As we know, it's an upgrade for mostly focused on Python. So developers can try Python on Algorand through the developer preview now. So we know Python, the biggest and main language essentially that's being developed in blockchain right now. Algorand's issue at one point was that it was using Teal, which was that transaction language. No one seems to be using that. So John and the rest of the team made a nice pivot and they integrated Python, which allows, all the like ETH developers, Cosmos, all the other blockchains can now basically develop a lot easier on Algorand. So this is what, like the second or third upgrade or update for Python. Was everyday Algonaut. Someone leave a comment below if you have tried out the new Algo Kit 2.0. What's your experience has been like? Has it made you, developing easier for you on Algorand? Because that's the main thing we need is more projects, right? And that's what Algo Kit is here to do, allow people to develop better. I believe they were using this at the recent hackathons in Argentina. So they're using it out in India for the Algo Barat. A lot is happening. And then it says we'll see additional upgrades throughout 2024, including improvements to LocalNet and Sandbox. I'm not super into a developer, but LocalNet and Sandbox, I believe, helps you scale up how many codes and lines of code you can put inside of each like box that you're working on. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's my understanding. So it just keeps getting better. So we'll keep scrolling down. Then we got, again, the Queen's Gambit, non-archaeal relays. What you know about this one? Or if the baby
Yeah, I think he's finally going back down.
Okay.
Sometimes he always wakes up like 10, 20 minutes after he goes down. But no, the non-archival relays, this is just getting away from, obviously it says there Algorand initially required all relays responsible for spreading information across to hold the entire history of the blockchain.
Ledger,
yeah. And so now it's just getting away from that, making it to where these things can be more efficient. Not all of them have to hold the entire history of the blockchain. And so I think that's going to be, like I said, it's just making the chain more decentralized. It's making it smoother, faster, and the ability to grow more. And it keeps going on. It says this worked well in the beginning when there were fewer nodes, obviously, that they wanted to make sure they had that security. But as the network has grown, it's become increasingly energy intensive for relay nodes. And this is also going to help keeping that green side of Algorand, making it still carbon neutral and not a heavy footprint for people who are spinning up these nodes and trying to run, especially because we're going to see, and we're already seeing, an influx in people running nodes, because the next thing, if you want to go on down, I think it's the next one it talks about, is the incentivization of these nodes, right? And so you're going to see more people. Yeah, you're going to see more people wanting to run these nodes, and so there's this demand. Not everybody's going to need to house the entire blockchain on their computer. But so Algorand is inherently designed for decentralization. Obviously, a lot of us know that with pure proof of stake and how it works. But this year, it's the first significant upgrade to a consensus mechanism since inception. I know this took a lot of convincing from Gary and John to Silvio to do this, but I do think it's a step in the right direction. Algorand will now directly incentivize that participation, and that is Algorand will soon change the L1 behavior to reward block producers. And one thing I want to say here, why this is important, right? I saw, and this is a meme coin, but I saw in the meme coin world over on Solana, a meme coin called Whiff, which is dog with hat. I know it sounds stupid.
Yep.
You would never think to put $100 in it, right? But someone fat fingered to buy and bought $6 million worth of it. Now, it was definitely on accident. This guy didn't, he the whale. If you look at the transaction, if you look at the transactions layering in, he was doing some, multiple $1,000 digit buys, but then all of a sudden, boom, a massive candle shot up all the way up from like, I think 18 cents, 16 cents to like above $3, right? And why am I saying this? Because the person that got the rewards for that block on Solana got a hell of a lot of money. Now, I know it wouldn't probably work the same way on Algorand, right? They're not going to see that big payday, but that's what people are building these nodes for. They want, just like Ethereum, they want to know that, hey, if I'm putting all this money up to run this expensive, node and secure the network, that I'm getting rewarded for it, that I'm not just there doing it out of goodwill. And I know that was Silvio's thing, that if you just, that people should want to secure the network because it's the, altruistic view, but like, hey, we've seen that does not work. It didn't work. And so I am super excited to see how this helps change Algorand's move forward into 2024, incentivizing nodes. And obviously, I know we're not going to bring it up, but there is also a full breakdown. I don't know if you want to drop the link in the comments where people can actually go and look deeper into what this incentivization will look like.
I don't think we can, but I could just share it here.
Yeah. So Algorand's consensus incentivization.
And this is on John's page. If you go to John Wood's Twitter or Algorand Foundation page, it's right there.
Yeah. So the technical goals of the project, are to define the economic aspects of the design, source of funds, payout function, non-functional requirements, define the technical design, code levels and all that stuff, and then define the approach to mitigate gamification. So obviously we don't want to see it turn into just people trying to farm it and things like that, but we actually want to, it needs to be like other layer ones in the system. If you're running a node, you're being rewarded for doing so.
Well, I'll add too, like when we look at the stock market, we got Riot Blockchain, they're mining Bitcoin, or they're running the nodes, right? However we want to call it. So there's businesses out there that are looking to just simply run these warehouses full of nodes and they want to earn rewards. So then Algorand is putting himself in position so that way businesses can really tap in and then make some profit potentially. And I would assume it's a lot less heavier load with these upgrades than it would be to run a whole Bitcoin blockchain or Ethereum. So that's another, a plus on my book. Let me go back to here.
I didn't even realize I was muted, but I think that's also the point is like, it's not going to cost, you may not be raking in the rewards like on a higher fee driven chain like Ethereum or Solana or Avalanche, but the cost to run the node is also not going to be at the same level. I mean, you got to have how much ETH to be a validator. I don't know,
like 32,000 worth at the last time I looked.
Yeah, I think it's like 32 ETH, and I don't know, I don't know how much that is.
Oh yeah, 32 ETH. Excuse me.
Yeah. So it's like 60,
70,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of money right now. But yeah, it's the cost to actually secure the network from that standpoint is going to be way cheaper than the likes of those bigger. But like I say, the fees and obviously the money you can make are also a lot higher. So it'll be interesting to see this balance of once they launch this, how the fee structure changes, because that's the whole goal, right? It's to get Algorand to a spot where it can actually like continue on without the foundation. So the fees that people are paying to transact on the network go into a pool that then reward the people who are running and securing the network. And it's a cohesive ecosystem that can actually function without the need for a foundation to continually pump money and stuff and funds into the ecosystem for it to thrive. So it's also good steps forward.
Yeah, help them get on their own feet real quick. So then the Capablanca variation.
Yeah,
so
this
Gossip Network. Yeah. You want to get this one?
Yeah. So Algorand currently operates as a relay style network, meaning that most of the heavy traffic right now is going through relays, right? That were permissioned, or at least the ones that are getting paid and rewarded for running these relays. Anyone can still spin up a relay, but and point it to the chain and whatnot, and play a part in that network. But where it's going is these blocks are then transmitted across the network through relay nodes, a form of efficient data propagation. While extremely efficient, this structure is not the most decentralized form of network. So to further promote decentralization, Algorand is shifting away from this relay structure to a peer-to-peer gossip network, similar to how Bitcoin and many other crypto networks operate. So this just means all the nodes are going to be able to talk to each other, get these transactions and everything going through, instead of it having to go through just what some people would say is gate kept relays. But like I said, these are all things that we've been hearing about, that are coming. And it's just cool to see this roadmap in a, I think, very well marketed way coming to fruition in 2024. Because once these things go live, and I don't know if we have a specific timetable from John Woods and the team on specific dates. We've never really got that from Algorand, but I would say sooner the better, right? Because we don't want to be, we don't want these things launching when the markets turn sour. And I think right now there's still a lot of optimism and excitement and hopium in the market. So I think we need, these things need to get going sooner rather than later, so that we can see Algorand actually have a strong 2024, get above some key levels of resistance as far as the price goes. And from there, hopefully we can become a more decentralized and self-sufficient chain, not as reliant on the foundation and what it does making those decisions. And we're seeing that all across the board with XGovs and being able to vote and have a deeper, your vote matters more, and allocating where the money goes to these, incentivization of nodes, to the peer-to-peer gossip network, to being more inclusive with Python. I mean, everything that you're seeing Algorand do is the right steps. My question, and is that the one? Is that the last one of the
let me see
things here, or is there one more?
Glimpse just a glimpse. 2025.
Yeah, glimpse into 2025. So my question is it going to be too late? Like, and that's the thing, because we just like we looked at the top, 100. You got Celestia, you got Beam, you have Caspa, Injective, you have all these Cosmos, you have all these ecosystems, Solana, that are they have the hype. Their tech may not be as good as Algorand, but it's giving them the hype, and the price appreciation is giving them time and funds to start to be able to compete. Like, and we've even heard Gary and John say on the last one of our interviews with them that, Algorand is not, the gap is not that great as it used to be. The gap was huge when Algorand first launched, and that's why there was so much excitement, because of what it could do. But it didn't capitalize on that hype, and there were some mistakes made along that way. And so now it's like Algorand's playing from behind, and it really is like this chess game. they have to play smart. Because and
Mm-hmm.
I think as a community, we also have to play smart. Because if we don't play smart and we're pushing people away and we're, always angry on Twitter
Arguing.
and drama and all this stuff that's
Yep.
going on, no one is going to want to be in this ecosystem. So to an extent, the foundation and the team, John, Stacy, all of them, they're doing what they need to do. We have to do what we need to do, which I'll say one of the things I think we need to do, open your mind. Like, get out of your Algorand only bubble and start getting in other communities to then bring people into Algorand. I think Algorand needs to start figuring out some more cross-chain stuff. I know a lot of people are laughing at the Barb, Bark the Shark and the Barb token and stuff like that. But hey, that guy has done more, I think, in the past couple of weeks with trying to build some cross-chain bridges to Cardano and VeChain and stuff like that than many people have done, just arguing about, why the price is suffering and stuff like that. And, trying to chase the outside guy, off with a pitchfork. But,
yeah, like Kurt Wilson said, there's competition out there. Right. I have not used ICP, but as a big fan of the whole Cosmos ecosystem, they get money over there. Right. And like Solana, they get money over there. And Solana is pretty quick. AVAX, they get money. So that right there is very important to the investor. When you look at, the year chart, the all-time chart, most of those coins we just talked about, they go up and to the right and it's green, even when it's a pullback. Algorand has a lot to get over. We got to get over $3.80 to fully, technically to be into a green from all-time chart. So yes, I think these upgrades, bigger platforms using the project, I think there still could be a better push about like, Euros, TravelX, all these type of businesses, because I don't think those type of businesses will be able to go build on a lot of other blockchains if you need that fast of a finality and whatnot. But ICP was that internet computer, right?
Yeah.
I keep hearing about it. People keep talking about it. We're going to have to get someone from ICP on the show and then let them talk about it, get a few more blockchains in. But overall, I like your point of a lot more cross-chain. So shout out to Bark the Shark and whoever else is doing that. And we tried to do as much as we can over here. But people need to still know Algorand does exist, and then figure out better ways to bridge. So Messina is doing a lot of bridging right now. I don't know what else is bridging, but we need more bridging. Because when Pepe did get on Algorand, that was big. That was really big. You know what I mean? So we need Pop Cat and Cat with Hat, Cat without Hat, Dog with Hat. If we can get them bridged over as well, and then people can learn and see how easy it is to trade on one of the Algorand dexes, that's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, because I'll say this too. It's like I've went out and I've experimented with other chains, Optimism, Base. Let's see, obviously, even things on just main Ethereum. But yeah, the gap is getting less and less. I mean, I've swapped on a layer 2. It's smoother, it's faster, it's cheaper than it was on Ethereum. And so that's something you definitely have to keep in mind is like, if we're, it's no longer, the argument is not like, oh, you're waiting 30 minutes for a transaction to go through. Like my transactions on Solana went through pretty quick. My transactions on Base go through very fast. And they're, obviously they're not as cheap as Algorand, but like for me in America, it's like the difference between paying 8 cents for a fee and less than a penny. Yeah, obviously I'd rather pay less than a penny, but hey, I'm fine with 8 cents. So I know some places in the world obviously maybe wouldn't want to pay that, but the gap is getting smaller. So this is the year I think Algorand has to make its move, and it has to play the chess game perfectly. And there has to be no major hiccups. I'm talking like there can't be anything like a hodl knot again and bike, the bike thing. Like it has to play the game.
Bike with Hat.
Yeah, right. That would have honestly been the thing to make.
But
it has it has to be perfect. Because if not, then it definitely stands the chance of getting left behind with a lot of these new blockchains coming out. It's funny you mentioned Bike with Hat, because I saw Franklin Templeton, which is one of those ETF managers who just approved, they obviously got their ETF approved and whatnot, and they changed their profile picture on Twitter to laser eyes. Obviously, that was a signal that we were at a top for Bitcoin. But then they also were making they're also making tweets in the comments about what if we something about with Hat, and it's funny because people were saying, agging them on, saying you won't change your profile picture. And I'm pretty sure WIF is going to get listed on Coinbase soon. So that one is definitely one that I was in, and I was trading it earlier, and I made some money, but I sold it, and I don't have it anymore. And that is the one thing with meme coins. It's like, just keep a small bag, like never sell all of it, because you never know which one of these is going to just take off and get that mainstream attention.
Or go to zero.
All right, that's why you keep a little bit.
Yeah. Let's take our ad break, then we'll get back to this discussion. Y'all, we'll be right back. Hey y'all, welcome back to episode 91, Next Block, C-Will, Crypto for Change. We just talked about Algorand. Shout out to the whole Algorand community and everybody in the chats right now. So let's get to this next topic. Where you want to introduce it and pull it up?
Yeah. So one thing, to kind of go along the whole idea of like cross-chain and just getting out and experimenting with stuff. One of the things that I saw recently drop, I've been in the base ecosystem a little bit, trying to, get my feelers out there, because I think if Coinbase succeeds, base, the layer 2 of Ethereum, is going to succeed as well. So I'm definitely trying to find out, things that are popping over there. And I actually bought into one of the NFT projects called On-Chain Dinos. I've been talking to the creator about possibly getting him on the show. But one of the things I saw was that Nifty Island, which is a video game that just got launched on Ethereum, but it's on a couple networks, not just Ethereum, but it is partnered, or the Dinos is actually going to be included in the game. So you'd be able to play with the NFT in the game, which I was kind of hesitant at first, like, what's this going to look like? But after playing it for a bit, guys, this game looks like is a lot of fun. And I would love to see people from our community join the game. It's free to play, and you can do team deathmatch and all different kinds of stuff. So I'm going to share real quick and present just to show, what you can kind of do here. So if you want to bring that up, C-Will. So obviously this is the game, and I'll say this: when I first started, your island is literally it's literally just a plot of land that you can zoom. You can terraform and build everything. I obviously, it literally was this hut and just grass and land. So I built everything in here, and just like I remember Decentraland, Mana, and all that stuff. I wanted to play those NFT games, but like buying a tree was like $3,000, or like getting a house. So everything on here,
ridiculous.
unlike that, it's free, and you're earning, right? So these little tokens you see here, like you're earning those as you visit other people's lands, as you play team deathmatch and stuff like that. You're able to, earn more of them. But this is the little island, my island so far. It's called Battle Island. So I did post it on my Twitter, a link to it. So if you do download the game from Nifty Island, make sure you get it from their official website. You can search my island. You can come here and we can game it up. And what I mean by that, let me go back here. But I can actually, like a team deathmatch, if people join my island, so you get a cool countdown. Here's my little character. You get bullets, switch to your gun. You can literally fight. I don't know if y'all can hear the audio, probably not because it's in my headphones, but nonetheless, it's just really cool. I think like just how smooth the gameplay is. I mean, out of like, I would say blockchain games, whoops, falling down here. I'm trying to get up here. But out of all blockchain games I've played, this one's by far one of the smoothest. But, and the cool thing is too, let me get out of the game here. You can actually go to maps. So this is also going back to their home screen. You can look at all the other people's maps. Like I said, this is mine, Battle Island. But there's tons of featured ones, popular ones right now that people are playing at. Let's see here. There's like 11 people here. Let me go visit this one. See how long it takes. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Reminds me of Sandbox. Yeah, Ric Flair. I mean, it definitely has a, like, this is what I feel like when everybody was thinking of NFTs and metaverse gaming. This is what I envisioned it would be. And the cool thing is you see some of the NFTs here on the screen. These are some of the ones from Ethereum that have been included in the game. So you can actually play with your NFT. So I was thinking, man, like Mingos and other things, like what if they were integrated into this game on Ethereum and we were able to build communities, And so here's, like I say,
out the sky.
Yep. So you're getting these balloons. Yeah. This is what the currency that's in the game. But you are harvesting these things, and with the ability to get the island token, which is going to drop, airdrop to people who play. So you are getting rewarded. It's play to earn type thing. But I don't know. It just, like, it's super cool.
You said base. So ETH layer 2. That means, again, it was kind of like what Curtis just said here. Everyone's there at Ethereum still, whether it's a Optimism, Base, Arbitrum, Polygon, all of that is Ethereum essentially. Yeah. So
I just joined a game.
There's Algorand, get these people on. And I think what you said is a good point. Joining these type of games and integrating Algorand NFTs into it.
Oh, he got me. But this is kind of what it looks like once you fire up like a team deathmatch is what this is. Oh, shoot.
It's active. And then this is peer versus peer, or is this like a bot?
PvP.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
There you go. Got it. I'm about to die. Yep. But no, I mean, just think of this. This is hundreds of people. Obviously, this island probably has like 20 people, but wait, let me switch to my gun. But just the amount of, like, I don't know, just how much is going on in this game, and like it just feels so smooth.
Yeah. And Nifty, do they have an NFT marketplace?
So yeah, they do. So let's let me quit out of this. And then actually I don't know if you can get to the marketplace from, I will say this. Let me go back to my island.
Victor says, I just downloaded Honeyland to see if it's worth it.
I have heard about Honeyland. That is another one, but the reason I'm jumping on this one is just because how new this one is. This thing just launched yesterday. I'm trying to farm their island token that's going to be dropping. But the marketplace in the game, but if you Actually, one thing is this is your little robot that follows you around. But you see in the bottom, it says plus 750 blooms. That's kind of the in-game token. So to create a game, you can go over here to your little thing and you can actually create games. So it's a race. So run the map. I don't know. I'm just going to call it. But
run the map.
Go to a foot race. Let's begin. And you get to, so here you would pick your starting point, right? So say I wanted the starting point to be, up here. Go next. Now I'm going to do my checkpoints. So I'm going to do a checkpoint. I'm going to act like you got to jump across, fly across the map. So I'm going to do one here. And I'm going to do one like here. And then I'll do one across in the middle of the bridge. And then we'll just do like here, and then we'll say next, finish line. We'll put it right there. So then done. And then
this is a smooth game though.
Yeah, I know. So fight to the. So I just got 750. So now I have 4,018 of my blooms. I'll close that out. But if you go in, you can just like the game I just did, I can play it. So I hit that, hit start. And obviously all your friends would spawn in. So
you're already about to fall off the cliff.
So
hit
boom.
The vortex. Got an arrow showing you where to go.
Got that one, but try to get up here. Whoa. Obviously it could have made a better, thing, but
yeah, to the bridge.
Jump there. Boom, finish. So boom. And obviously if you had your friends, you'd be racing, trying to do it. I think the exit's right behind my stop sharing. So I'm gonna hit stop share. But let's go back to us here. I'll quit that. But they also asked if it has its own marketplace. If you go to Nifty Island's website, it does have its own marketplace where you can buy other cool things. And there's lots of curated stuff too that they created for like the Pudgy Penguins and like some of the Azuki, some of the Bored Apes, some of the bigger, more popular ones on Ethereum.
Let me pull it up real quick just to see what they're working with. Here we are.
Yeah, you can get the Aave Ghost for obviously those blooms. That's the currency. And like, you're not having to pay real money, just playing the game. I have, obviously 4,000. I got a way to go if I wanted to get one of these, but it doesn't seem unattainable, right?
Yeah.
It seems like it'd just be something you grind.
Okay. Goku Super Saiyan 4. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be the one right there.
But yeah, and those are ones where I think you'd actually buy it just spending ETH. So those you would be spending, real money, but nonetheless, the game looks dope. I'm excited. I've been excited, like playing it. So you get out there and try some different things. If you're in the Algorand community, I feel like, and I feel like the Algorand community would do better if it, continue to expand and try to make more cross-chain collaborations. Like imagine if an NFT project in the Algorand ecosystem figured out a way early on to be a part of this drop, right? And to play with your NFT. Like everybody's holding NFTs, but they're not doing anything with them. This would be a really cool way to actually play as your NFT in a cool game with tons of people like from all other chains. And actually imagine there's a big Algorand community and the Algorand Island or something ends up becoming one of the biggest ones. Like that's exposure right there. So that's the kind of stuff I would like to see. And it's stuff I'm trying to do. I've made a tweet about it. I'm trying to get people to download the game, get in there and try it, have fun. But you can only do so much, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, shout out to you and all the others out there. Let's hit a couple more topics. Do want to talk about this man, Jamie Dimon. He was out in Davos. Yeah, I like Jamie Dimon, but he be tripping. But I watched the clip, right? The interview. So I understand where he's coming from. So let me summarize. He's basically saying he understands digital ledger technology, he understands blockchain. He knows that tokenization is up next. He sees the use cases. What he doesn't like is this headline. He calls Bitcoin a pet rock because he's like, you just poke it. What can you do with it? And then, as we talked about meme coins, we got the Toshis, the Shibas. That's a real question. What can you do with these coins? Can we buy coffee? Can we do anything? But he does know Ethereum and we will add in Algorand. those are the chains that are going to be used to tokenize assets, because he understands what smart contracts are. So he's bullish on the technology, but against Bitcoin professionally and politically, or whatever.
And
But as the largest banker in the world, I understand his positioning as an employee.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he doesn't like Bitcoin because he doesn't want people to hold their value and their assets in Bitcoin. He wants them to hold it in savings accounts that are at his bank. So I get his frustration, you know, why he's against it in that way. I do also understand, you know, the pet rock, you know, most people, right, are not out buying pizza or their dinner or their vacations with Bitcoin, right? They're just holding it. They're literally doing nothing but just putting it in a wallet and leaving it and buying more of it, right? Just even Michael Saylor, right? It's a hedge against inflation right now, or it has been. And so that's, you know, what most people do. But I do get the point that there are other things in this space that are better suited to actually be used in real world use cases. And it's interesting. I know we mentioned him early in the show, but Franklin Templeton, they also tweeted out and said Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana are cool, but, and they said this in the tweet, there is a lot of other, you know, interesting blockchains being built in the layer 1 space that can tokenize and do a lot of things. And I was like telling everybody, like, you know, we should be hitting that, you know, thread up and be saying Algorand to make sure that some of these giants realize that, hey, Algorand is out there. It can do a lot that Bitcoin can't, that Ethereum can't, that Solana can't, and it can guarantee a lot of things that those chains can't. And so, you know, that's just the truth of where it is. Like, yeah, Bitcoin is cool. Obviously, you know, we need Bitcoin to perform well, I think, for the entire space. But I'll be honest, there is a time where I hope that, you know, the gold, you know, Bitcoin kind of becomes the commodity, right? And trades like a commodity, like gold does, and altcoins and layer ones and some of the things kind of start trading like stocks, like they and trade separate a little bit. And I can't wait
that would be nice.
I can't wait to decouple, and maybe, and you know, watching and hearing some of what happened with the Coinbase lawsuit and what the judge was saying during that one with the SEC, it definitely seems like the judge was saying there needs to be new rules created. It needs to be its own asset class that's governed by its own rules outside of what we currently have in the, you know, in the commodities market or the securities market. So that's definitely where I'm at.
Yeah, I agree. And then if we look at the next one, you know, we got BlackRock here, who's now, you know, Larry Fink, the founder of BlackRock, he has now been converted to a Bitcoin maxi. So he, like Michael Saylor now, he's trying to gobble up as many Bitcoins as possible. I would say, you know, it's a two-sided argument there, right? For one, he has acquired over 25,000 Bitcoins. And the goal, I guess, is to get over 500,000, which will pass up Grayscale. But, you know, so I hear another argument. Yeah, Fink says when. Another argument is that the ethos of crypto was supposed to be a decentralized asset, right? And the argument of the negative side of having like BlackRock is that they're going to own all the Bitcoins now. And then you have to buy it via them and the ETFs.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I halfway agree and I halfway disagree, because, like, you know, you can just self-manage your own Bitcoin as well. So you have that option now, and that's what you don't have with stocks. I can't hold my Apple stock in my own wallet or in my iPhone.
Right. But I would say this, think about what gold, right? And the presidencies back in, I don't know what, 70s, I forget which president it was, but when they made it illegal, to hold gold and you had to bring it to the banks, right? Like, don't be surprised if the incumbents, don't be surprised if once these, you know, like I say, Bitcoin did start out decentralized. It did start out in a, what I think was Satoshi's true vision, but now it has become a centralized entity controlled by the most powerful people in the world. And so it's like, don't be surprised if they don't try to come for, you know, or if they don't paint the picture that people who self-custody their assets are bad, right? You shouldn't, you know, you can't do that. And then laws start getting passed left and right to say, hey, you cannot self-custody, you can't use a ledger, you can't use these devices, you have to come custody your assets with Coinbase or BlackRock or, you know, whoever these people are. And I definitely think that could be on the horizon. I mean, history doesn't often repeat, but it rhymes. And like I say, with what we've seen happen to gold in the past, would not be surprised if the, you know, BlackRocks and the Fidelities and all these giants, as they gobble it up, they get to control what happens to it at that point, because they hold the most of it.
And then check this out. So quick little research here is like, so BlackRock, you know, well, let me go back. So you got Riot Blockchain, you know, Hive Mind, and a few others. BlackRock is an owner in a lot of those, right? So you got to think about it in a way that they're double, tripling down on this asset. They're mining it via their, their proxies. They're owning it via the ETF. They're pushing it. So I see Bitcoin as being undefeated because of that now. You got, $1 trillion asset manager buying Bitcoin. So that's good. And then the next, thing that they're going to be worried about is then, Ethereum.
Yeah.
And what do you think about them and Ethereum?
Oh, I mean, it was already, a hot topic with Bitcoin getting its ETF approved. And I feel like that's definitely going to be the reason why, maybe even in the next couple of months, why we see Ethereum continue to trade higher against Bitcoin, is because now that the hype of the Bitcoin ETF's done, the hype of the Ethereum ETF is here. And that's where we may start to get a lot of, the Ethereum alt season type thing, the layer twos, seasons start to run, and people get really bullish for altcoins in general. I'm definitely excited for it, because I think once that talk really gets going and we start seeing, them submit their proposals to the SEC, I think that's when we're going to see a lot of good price action. It will be very interesting to see if that happens with if Gary Gensler would approve an Ethereum ETF, because he can't, in court, he's literally taking so many L's, but he can't even say whether it's a security or not. So it'd be interesting to see, because he did approve the Bitcoin spot ETF, and he's often, I think he's almost all the time said Bitcoin is not a security, but he is he's always said everything else pretty much security. So it'll be interesting to see.
The real question, when algo.
I wouldn't hold my breath for that. That would be, literally, like, Algorand's ETF comes if John Wood, Stacy, and the Algorand community can play this chess game perfectly and make all the correct moves perfect, flawlessly. Like, maybe then and we actually have our Solana moment, and people, and the world starts to, and Algorand takes the world by storm, then we can start getting in that conversation. But right now, we just need to focus on getting in the top 25 of crypto. Right now we're still sitting on the top 50.
If Algorand definitely, goes to top 10 or hit like a 10 billion market cap, people are gonna notice it. Like,
if it makes a run, I think, like too, it did,
it has to get to $3-4. It's gonna be on everybody's radar.
Yeah, if it can do, like I said, when I first found Algorand, it was ranked 48 and it ran all the way to 12, right? If it can do that again, but this time not die and not do all the bad things that happened at the tail end of that run, financial wise, if it can actually grow and get into the top 15, top 10, I think it would be very hard for it to fall like it has before. Because I think at that point, you would start to see it would start to flex on things that are definitely in the top 10 that are inferior. I'm looking at Cardano, XRP, like a lot of those.
Two gotta go.
Yeah, they're like, from a technical standpoint, you can just do so much more on Algorand than you can those chains. It's just the reason why those are holding up better is because it's better distribution of tokens, right? And it's, that's ultimately where we come down to.
Yeah, the tokenomics. I still they said Sean Lee. I think Sean Lee, it's not about Sean Lee. I think my big issue was the initial, was it Dutch auction launch?
Yeah, their initial thing was trying to
bad. And that was Silvio and his team before Sean Lee.
Yeah.
So that was put them on a death spiral.
Yeah, that was them trying to think, just because the tech and just because Algorand could be so good, they literally priced it at a valuation almost the size of Ethereum at the time. Like, I'm sorry, but it's like no other chain did that. Every other chain started at ground zero.
Yeah, and then work your way up.
And that's the reason why so many of these other chains, Celestia, like, I'm guessing Celestia did an airdrop, right, to people who were
in. Started at $2.
Yeah, look at that.
I missed it. Like I was telling the US couldn't get it, unfortunately, right?
Right.
But I bought in anyway. I was at I don't know, $9 or something like that.
Yeah.
And and then there's no ceiling there, because like I said, $2 to go up to 20 is really nice. But when you start at $4 and you're at 20 cents.
Yeah. And all of your holders are in the red. Like, you still look at Cardano.
We all
most people, people who got in the early days at Cardano, you're still up. XRP, you're still up. A lot of the other chains, you're still up. Algorand is one of the chains that just literally cut itself at the knees at the start. And so, definitely don't blame it all on Sean Lee. I think he tried.
You can't blame it on Sean Lee. No.
No, I mean,
No,
definitely
because
there was
it's the
some
same thing as here. When you
grants,
go,
but
when you think about, there was a board when he was there that had to prove these things. And
Stacy was on that
on
board.
the board. Yeah. So it's like I put it on the group, you know what I mean? And now he gone for like 2 years. So that's like kind of, old news.
And
We all
that is
seen
the
the
good
grant
thing.
list. A whole bunch of money went out places it shouldn't have been before and after.
Yeah. And that's the bullish thing for 2024 and beyond. And the reason why we can still be bullish is a lot of the bad stuff's behind us. It seems like we have a way better outline of where we need to go and a clearer picture. And that's why I'm still bullish. And that's why, hey, Algorand dips to 15 cents. Probably still going to buy some more because I do think it gets above $1.
You want to pull that chart up one more time before we head out?
I don't know if we need to see that. It's probably already fallen down. But I will say this: Scaramucci, he was a big believer in Algorand at the start. He still sees a price target that it could be something like a Solana. It's $5 to $8 algo. That would be huge. Imagine then what can be. Yeah, imagine what could be built then. If that kind of money starts circulating in the Algorand ecosystem, you have a lot of investors, a lot of bag holders who then would be buying tokens, doing airdrops. I mean, it's everything that could be, could look positive. We just need price to go up. So
yeah, because the ecosystem is doing really well. Like look at our sponsors again. We got NF Domains still popping. Exit Market, they were the newest one, and they're still popping. Really strong number 2 in the ecosystem. And then you got Gora.
They have their DeFi suite coming out as well too. Gora does.
Yeah.
So they're going to, obviously then you're looking at Gora starting to, currently most people who are holding Gora are, just staking their Gora, but soon you'll be able to hopefully do lending and borrowing and, earning some APYs there. So, stay tuned for Gorify. I'm pretty sure that's what they're calling it, but, and then obviously, you got Messina that's bridging out, obviously competing against Folks Finance for governance, getting more people on. So, like I say, you have the way I see it, and we can close out with this. The chessboard is there. You got all the pieces ready to play.
Yep.
Can we actually play the game of chess and come out on top? Because that is the way I see 2024 for Algorand. Like, above all the noise, if we fail this game, then if we fail in 2024, I would say Algorand might actually become a dead chain in 2025 and beyond. Like, I don't care. I don't care about all the governments that could build and all these things. Like, you need to win this year, and we need wins in the community. We need wins at all levels.
Yeah. I got to add for them too. Like, how the Dos Equis, right? Go hire, I can't remember her name, Joy Anna Taylor, the girl that played Queen's Gambit. Hire her. Do a commercial where she's playing chess with like Silvio or something like that, right?
That would be
and
good.
Then run that ad, spend $5 million on that ad right now, pay her $1 million or whatever that would cost, and let's run that ad for 6 months. I'll tell you right there, that one commercial will make the price jump because they're gonna be like, Anna Taylor Joy, what is, like how Matt Damon did for crypto.com. I need her to play chess with Silvio. It could be 10 to 20 seconds. So if someone make that happen, give the next block the credit. It is what it is. Like, okay, hey, you heard it here first.
It works,
That's marketing.
I definitely agree. Would love to see something like that.
So on that note, let us know if y'all gonna make that commercial. I would love to be in it. I know Crypto for Change will be in it as well. We'll just be background characters. So let's do that. All right, y'all. Next week we got episode 92, right? And we have the CEO of the Algorand Foundation by the name of Stacy Warden. She'll be joining us, updating y'all. What's up, Algo Dog? Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Until the next one.
See everybody.